In 1765, a French philosopher received a gift, a beautiful scarlet robe, and it destroyed his finances. His name was Denis Diderot. He was broke most of his life, and then suddenly he wasn't. And that's when the real trouble started. Goldman Sachs published a study in 2025 that found 40% of Americans earning over $300,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. Not 40% of people earning $30,000. 40% of people earning $300,000. Diderot has been dead for 242 years, and he still has a name for what's happening to them. Here's the math that makes this worth understanding. A household earning $350,000 a year and saving 5% of it will accumulate roughly $875,000 over 20 years before returns. A household earning $120,000 and saving 20% will accumulate $480,000 before returns. With compound growth at a conservative 7%, the $120,000 household ends up within striking distance of the $350,000 household. Not because they're smarter, because they didn't fall into the trap. The difference between building wealth and running in place isn't income. It never was. Goldman Sachs' 2025 retirement survey didn't just find that high earners are struggling. It found the specific income band with the fewest people living paycheck to paycheck. It's not the highest earners. The number is 16%, and it belongs to people earning $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Cross $300,000 and the rate jumps back to 40%. The U-curve is real, documented, and almost nobody is talking about why. Diderot explains it, and he does it better than any economist alive. Denis Diderot spent most of his adult life in debt. He was brilliant, one of the leading minds of the French Enlightenment, editor of the Encyclopédie, one of the most ambitious intellectual projects in human history. He was also perpetually broke. In 1765, Catherine the Great of Russia bought his personal library for 15,000 livres, a fortune. For the first time in his life, Diderot had real money. A friend gave him a gift to celebrate. A beautiful scarlet dressing gown. Silk, elegant, the kind of thing a man of his new station should own. And that's when the problem started. The robe was nicer than everything else in his study. The old straw chair looked shabby next to it, so he replaced the chair with a leather one from Saint-Sulpice. The new chair looked wrong against the old wooden desk, so the desk had to go. The desk was replaced. The desk made the bookcase look worn. The bookcase was replaced. One by one, every object in the room was upgraded to match the prestige of a single piece of fabric. By the time he was done, Diderot had replaced his entire study. He was broke again. He wrote about it in an essay called Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown. The line that survives 260 years later. I was the absolute master of my old robe. I have become the slave of the new one. The Diderot Effect has a formal definition now. A single new acquisition triggers a cascade of complementary purchases to maintain a sense of coherence with the new object. The robe wasn't the problem. The robe became the new standard. Everything else had to catch up. Watch what this looks like in 2026. A professional couple closes on a house in a better neighborhood. The house is a stretch, $1.2 million, $7,800 a month in mortgage and taxes, but they can afford it. The house comes with granite countertops and stainless appliances and a 3-car garage. Their old furniture looks wrong in the space, so new furniture. The new furniture makes the backyard look dated, so a landscape project. The neighborhood has a tennis club. The tennis club requires tennis whites. The tennis whites require lessons. The children's school friends have tutors. The family now needs a tutor. Each purchase is defensible. Together, they constitute a second mortgage with no asset. This is not a failure of intelligence. Diderot was one of the most intelligent people in Europe. This is a failure of a system the brain was not designed to resist. There's a second mechanism working underneath the Diderot effect, and it's older than civilization. It's called hedonic adaptation. The brain's pleasure system is not built for sustained satisfaction. It's built for novelty detection. When something changes for the better, dopamine fires, the experience feels good, and the brain logs it as a new baseline. Within weeks, sometimes days, the new car is just the car. The bigger apartment is just home. The raise is just what the job pays. Researchers at the Journal of Happiness Studies track income and life satisfaction data across 25 years. Americans' average happiness score moved from 7.5 in 1940 to 7.2 in 1990, despite disposable income tripling over the same period. More money, less happy. The brain adapted faster than the bank account could grow. This is why the raise felt incredible for 6 weeks and then disappeared into the background like furniture. The Diderot Effect tells the person what to buy next. Hedonic adaptation tells them they need it to feel normal. Together, they form an invisible machine that converts income into spending velocity. And spending velocity is the opposite of wealth. Goldman Sachs' 2025 retirement survey polled thousands of working Americans across income levels, and the paycheck-to-paycheck rates by income band tell the whole story. Among people earning under $50,000, the rate is 57%. From $50,000 to $100,000, it falls to 36%. From $100,000 to $200,000, it drops to 25%. From $200,000 to $300,000, it bottoms out at just 16%, the lowest point on the entire curve. And then it reverses. From $300,000 to $500,000, the rate climbs back to 40%, and above $500,000, it stays at 40%. By $500,000 a year, the rate is right back where it sat at $50,000. The curve is real, documented, and almost nobody is talking about why. Goldman didn't name the Diderot Effect, but they described it with precision. Quote from the report: "The phenomenon of luxuries becoming necessities to certain income cohorts. At higher incomes, private school, private healthcare, club memberships, business class travel. These are no longer choices. They're the baseline. The robe becomes the standard, and everything else has to catch up. The structural numbers make the trap visible. Since 2000, housing costs have risen from 21% of income to 36%, childcare from 10% to 25%, private college from 9% to 33%, healthcare from 12% to 33%. The income went up, the costs went up faster. The Diderot Effect filled the gap between them with purchases that felt earned. 67% of working respondents in the Goldman survey cited too many monthly expenses as their primary savings constraint, not insufficient income. Too many expenses. The Goldman survey found one behavioral variable that actually predicted retirement savings, and it had nothing to do with income level or industry or education. They called it financial grit, the sustained commitment to savings behavior through income changes, market volatility, and lifestyle pressure. People with high financial grit retired with 49% more savings than their low grit counterparts at the same income level, not the highest earners, the most deliberate ones. The mechanism: high grit earners treat a raise as an investment event, not a consumption event. When income increases, savings rate increases proportionally before lifestyle has a chance to recalibrate. The Diderot Effect never gets traction because the money moves before the robe arrives. This isn't a personality trait. It's a rule enforced at the moment of income change. Denis Diderot never recovered financially. The Scarlet Robe story was written near the end of his life in 1769 as a confession, a warning he addressed to himself. He understood the mechanism precisely, documented it in detail, and still couldn't stop it. The Goldman Sachs data suggests that 40% of people earning $300,000 today are living the same essay, not because they lack information, not because they're reckless, because the brain was not designed for the income levels that modern careers produce. The spending system scales automatically. The saving system doesn't. The trap isn't the robe. The trap is the assumption that more income produces more security. It doesn't, not automatically. It produces more Diderot Effect at a higher price point with better furniture. If you made it this far, thank you. Please like and subscribe and check out our other videos dropped weekly. Diderot wrote the Encyclopédie, one of the most important documents in Western intellectual history. He shaped Enlightenment philosophy. He understood in extraordinary detail why human beings make bad decisions, including the one decision that ruined him. The robe arrived, and he bought the chair.